All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Gathering, hosted by SRS Paranormal. Tonight, we have with us a very special guest. We have Carrie Kenady. She is a human and pet psychic. You've actually seen her on Ghost Brothers. I believe it was Haunted House Guest the first season. Is that correct, Carrie?
That is, I was in the premiere episode, of their first season.
Awesome. She's a renowned pet psychic as well as a psychic medium. So she's going to go ahead and introduce herself, tell you a little bit about her. But before she does that, you have myself, Matt Swords, tonight. You have Michelle and Al. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you have Christina. So we're going to talk about some psychic mediumship. We're going to talk about pets and pet psychicship. I guess that's a word. I'm not sure if that's correct, but it is today. And so we're just going to have a good time talking about some of that stuff and some paranormal stuff. So, Carrie, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay, well, when I was 6 years old, I was attacked by a dog, and that kind of flipped a switch for me. That dog was actually abused and neglected, and so at that very early age, I decided I didn't blame it on the dog. I blamed the owner, and I was like, this is not okay. And so I was like, okay, I want to be a voice for the animals and say this is not okay. And I think that kind of really made me in tune to animals. I joke and I say that was the Peter Parker effect, right?
You had your experience, right? And that led you to a whole new path.
The Spider-Man fans out there will get what I'm saying, but
absolutely,
yeah,
radioactive spiders and all.
Yeah,
I'm a big Spider-Man fan. That's why I say that. That's like my favorite superhero. So I totally got your reference.
Well, good. So yeah, it kind of flipped a switch in me and made me want to be, their voice, and made me really intuitive, I think, with animals. And, fast forward to my 20s, I started writing in my journals. I'm a creative writer, and I was writing poetry and all kinds of stuff. And I actually started channeling just spirit. I was a channel, a medium. I didn't know it at the time, but I would just channel stuff, and things would start coming through. And it scared me at the time, and I didn't like it, and I stopped doing it. But then my uncle died when I was 32. And I said, okay, I know I can hear you, so can you please just tell me you're okay? And he said, I'm okay. And that's when the floodgates just kind of opened up, because I allowed it to come in. And at that point, I started practicing on friends and family. And the more I did readings for people, because that's how I started as a people medium, the more that I practiced on people, the more I kept hearing animals. And I knew I always kind of had this ability in me to talk to animals, but I knew I had to pursue this ability. And so I kind of read everything there was to read from Penelope Smith. She's kind of the guru of animal communication, and read all about her ethics and guidelines and how to be an animal communicator. And I was fascinated by this. And I kind of ran with it.
Wow.
I'd be talking to a woman, and she'd be like, I was doing a people reading on her, and I'd be like, well, why am I seeing a yellow bird around you? And she'd be like, well, that was my yellow bird for 10 years. So, that's the point where I knew I had to do pet readings. So I do both now. So, that's me. I love what I do, and that's me.
Do you find that you're more intuitive to people or to animals?
Equally both.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Both, and I do both on a daily basis. I do an equal number of pet and people readings.
Okay.
And I would imagine sometimes that crosses over, right? I mean, sometimes maybe you start because they came to you for them, but maybe something that's going on also has to do with a pet or something going on with a pet. Hi, Josh. Josh is on.
Absolutely. Sorry, my phone. I'm wobbly. I'm holding my phone. I have a laptop, so I'm all over the place here. I'm like, I need to hold my phone.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yes,
Carrie,
when I'm doing people reading,
go ahead.
sorry, what?
Go ahead.
When I'm doing people readings, yeah, I mean, some animals will come through and vice versa. When I'm doing pet readings, I get people that come through for during the readings for sure.
I know the first time I met you, one of the first things I asked you is, how do you connect? And you use a photo. You don't have to have the animal present, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, and it's all telepathic communication. So I just tune into the energy of that animal and I look at the photo and I communicate telepathically. So I'm able to just ask spirit, are you here with me? And for whatever reason, they come to me and say, yes, I'm here with you. And I'm able to connect. And I do need a photo though, because otherwise I would be talking to hundreds of animals all at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's why a photo helps me for sure.
That's really cool. I know I specifically had wanted for you to connect with my schnauzer, Lucy, who is nicknamed Her Royal Highness, bit of a diva. But we've chatted several times where you connected with Miss Lucy for me, and even helped us make a decision concerning some fairly serious surgery for her. We got her input on it, which for all the pet parents out there, uh, if you ever really just need to know what does your animal, what's their input, what's their mindset, what are they thinking, which is where I was. I, of course, wanted to do the right thing for her, but having no way to actually ask her. Um, it was kind of crazy because I know the first time we met, just cold reading and pulled up a photo of Lucy, you were able to tell me her favorite snacks, which is popcorn. So how unusual is that? Her favorite toys, and even the color of her favorite toys. So I was pretty blown away. And you've even connected with Binks, who they're both over here snoring away with me right now, and which had tons and tons and tons of kitten energy. But I remember the first time we spoke, Lucy, one of the first things that you immediately looked up and said, "Does the cat have to stay?" And I was kind of floored because Binks had not been around very long, and Lucy had always been kind of an only child. So this was all new for her. But it's been pretty amazing, Carrie. How many people do you talk to on an average in a week?
Christina, you're cutting in and out. Are you guys hearing the same thing as me?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Michelle and Al?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out
Christina,
a
I'm
little.
having a hard time hearing you because you're cutting out.
Okay. What are some of the
Just
different
keep
animals?
talking.
What are some of the different animals that you've been able to connect to?
Your connection is really.
Can you hear me, Carrie?
How many different animals have I been able to connect to? You're cutting in and out too, Matt.
Yeah. On
Michelle
my
and
end,
Al,
it
you're
seems
not cutting out though.
on this end it seems okay right now, but I can't tell. Or am I coming through for you guys? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Michelle.
yeah.
You're doing the same as Christina. You're kind of cutting in and out.
Okay.
Well, Christina asked how
It's hard
many.
for me to understand.
Christina asked how many readings do you do a week, usually?
Just on an average.
Oh,
I think.
they're cutting it. Am I cutting in and out?
Yeah, you're starting to fade in and out a little bit. This is the trials and tribulations of doing live shows. This happens every now and again.
Yeah.
We'll have some
I think we're
audio
having
issues. I'll tell you what you might try
some audio.
doing. Can you text her, Christina? Can you hear me? I
Yeah.
would text her and tell her that ask her to exit and then sign back in, and maybe her coming out and coming back in will resolve her because she's frozen right now.
Okay.
Guys,
If you can hear us, Carrie, Christina's going to try and message you. I think you're frozen right now, so we're going to have you exit and come back into the studio. And for everybody that's watching out there, I apologize. This is the trials and tribulations of live feeds.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah, sometimes we've got great connections, and sometimes we don't.
I watched Paranormal Brew last night, and they were having a tough time. Same issues.
Yeah.
The web is overwhelmed right now too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the first Friday where a lot of things are open. I kind of thought more people would be out and about. And
Hopefully she'll pop back in here.
okay.
Tell us to have her let us know when she's back in. But anyways, for those that were just tuning in, Carrie was starting to tell us a little bit about her connecting with animals. So while we're waiting on her to come back, Christina, she might be here again. Let's see if we've got her. It says your guest. Here she is. Let's see if she's back.
Let's try that.
Can you hear us now, Carrie?
Can you hear us?
Can she not hear us?
Keep talking.
Okay. Your image is frozen, but we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
Matt,
your
you're
voice
still
right now.
going in and out.
I'm still cutting it out. Can you hear me now?
Christina?
Can you tell me? Tell us
Can
about
you
a
talk,
couple.
Christina?
Yes. Can you hear me?
You're still going in and out.
Can you hear me and Al? Are we going in and out?
No, you guys are still going in and out.
Yeah, she is too. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how we could have any better connection. I don't know what else to try.
Carrie?
Let's try
Yeah.
to go out and come back in, okay, and see if that works.
Okay.
Like perfect Wi-Fi here too, where I am.
Yeah, she's only coming in every other word.
I'm also noticing that my video is freezing.
Yours is,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're frozen. Yep. Yeah. Can you not hear us? I'm going to bring Alan Michelle back in.
Okay.
Can
All right. Any better?
you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out real bad.
You're freezing though. Are you getting my text, Carrie?
Not sure.
Well, this is the first time this has ever happened, so
Yeah.
we're having some serious technical difficulties. Everybody's watching. I apologize.
Okay, I'll try exiting.
Okay.
Yeah, have her go completely out, and then we'll try to bring her back in.
Okay. We'll try that again. You know, while she's doing that, I'll tell everybody about
Yes, please.
some of the experiences I've had with Carrie. Yeah, my Schnauzer is 11 years old. We were facing kind of some serious surgeries, and I asked her for some help. I wanted her input, and there's my Lucy and her favorite non-sister Binks. Not favorite, really. She doesn't like her that much. But we found out Lucy was actually having a great deal of pain. And
Hello?
hey, Carrie, are you back? Can you hear us? I don't think you can hear us.
You're still going in and out.
Can
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you, Carrie. I don't think everybody else. I think you're freezing a little bit. I was sharing some of the things that you've helped us with Lucy. You were able to
For
even.
some reason,
It seems better.
Yeah, she's not freezing. I just don't think she has
Well,
audio right
I
now.
don't think she's hearing us. Carrie was able to actually tell us what portion
hear
of
anything. I'm not-
Lucy's body was having the most pain, even, which the vet was even having a very hard time isolating. So she was able to help us with that. It's. Can you hear us, Carrie?
Hey, Christina,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Would it be possible for you maybe to
You may jump off.
Well, no, you to
Let's
call
call
her on a speakerphone, and maybe we can talk to her over your microphone on a speakerphone.
Well, let's give that a shot. Hang on.
That way we can try it. I mean, because it seems like our audio is all working amongst us. There
Mhm.
could be wherever she is, could be
Yeah.
high bandwidth usage. Like I think Josh, he just said that high bandwidth this time of night. So that's very possible. We'll try this and see if this works.
Okay.
Hey,
Carrie, can you hear us now?
I can hear you. I'm completely frozen on the video, and it's like sputtering, and it's completely frozen on video.
Sorry about that. Well, if you're game, we'll try it this way. Can you guys hear her?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can hear her. Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I was sharing how you'd been able to help us with Lucy, isolating the location of her pain and even getting her consent for the surgery that we had. I would love to hear some more about the different kinds of animals that you connected with.
Oh gosh, well, I've talked to every kind of animal, you name it. Excuse me, from river otters to sugar gliders to horses to cats to dogs to you name it.
Wow. River otters.
Oh yeah, every species you could imagine.
That is the coolest thing. You know, I'm curious, have you ever been contacted by any zoos?
You know, I actually haven't, and that's something I would absolutely love to do is talk to zoo animals because, I think they would have a lot to say to me.
Oh, I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
I think we're all big animal people here. I think anybody connected with spirit typically is. If I'm wrong, correct me.
You're right.
Michelle has got a few different kinds of babies. Tell us about your babies, Michelle.
Oh, well, I have a Newfoundland dog, and she's
Oh.
I think 11. She's pretty old. And then I have a little bunny, Mr. Jingles.
Oh, what a cute name.
And they're pretty good friends, actually.
Okay.
I was surprised that the dog and the rabbit got along, but they like to lay together and get along really well.
Yeah. You never know what species are going to be good companions, right?
Yeah. And Newfoundlands are so gentle anyway, so.
Right. I love that.
What's been the most unique experience you've ever had, Carrie?
In terms of pet readings?
Readings in general.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that is a darn good question. Honestly, I think every reading I do is a unique experience because every time, I know that sounds kind of lame, but every single time I talk to an animal, especially an animal on the other side, it's just very unique to me because every animal comes through as such a unique energy to me. And they all feel so distinctly different as a soul. They just feel so different to me. And so they all have their unique energies and come through as they all come through as very loving energies, but they all have this unique message that they want to bring forth for their person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I know when you connected with Lucy, the first thing was that she was here to help me and to actually bring healing energy to me, which has been true on so many different levels. But I can't tell you guys just how amazing it was the first time she connected. I know we all love our animals and we all kind of imagine what they would think and what they would say. But until you can actually give them a voice, which is what Carrie does, you cannot possibly fathom the depth of what they feel and what they think. It just the little things like finding out Lucy absolutely loved to go for car rides, and she shakes and tremors so much, like, excuse me, like she's trying to shit a peach seed when she gets in a car. I thought it traumatized her. I didn't know she was so excited she actually was enjoying herself. So things like that, and she's on the older end, and we know she's approaching end of life things. So I mean, being able to talk to Carrie and actually kind of getting Lucy's bucket list. and being able to work on that, which has been a wonderful experience for me. I mean, any creature or soul that we love, we of course want to make sure they're fulfilled and that they're happy. So being able to do that through Carrie has been truly a wonderful experience.
So that I've got a couple of questions, Christina, that just kind of came to mind for me. One of those questions would be, so for our viewers out there, and those of you that are just joining us, we did have some technical difficulties, and we do have Carrie now via the phone. So she's not on screen with us, but she is with Christina via the phone. But the question that I had was, what is it like when you connect with animals? I mean, is it the same as when you connect with a human? Because I know for me, with my fur babies, I talk to them just as if I was talking to anybody else in my family. In fact, I often call Jax my son. So, that's just kind of my thing for him. So is that how it is for you? I mean, is it actually like having a conversation like we're having, or like you do with
Yes.
spirit when you connect with spirit? So I was just wondering how that works.
It's absolutely the same. And when I talk to spirit, it's more of like a subtle, quick, random energy that comes through, and it's almost like a different part of my brain that I'm using. It's hard to explain, but it's like when I think, I use the front part of my brain, and when spirit comes through, it's almost like it comes through in the back part of my brain. And people always say we use 10% of our brains, right? I always think
Right.
that when I'm kind of tuned in, turned on, with spirit, I use more of my brain. I don't know how else to describe it, but yes, it's exactly like having a conversation with one of you. And I'm just talking, like right now. I'm looking at my cat, and he's looking outside, and I'm kind of acknowledging that he's looking at a bird outside, and I can hear he's telling me that he wants to go outside. I'm like, you can't, So it's a very subtle energy. It's more energetic than it is. It's more telepathic than it is conversational. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So I guess, and that's for you, you must have very different relationships with your pets than even we do. I mean, we all love our pets, and don't take that wrong. I mean, but your connection must be deeper because you can actually really connect with them. Sometimes I look at my dog and I know what I think he's saying, but I don't really know what he's saying, Sometimes I don't want to know what he's saying, I'm sure.
You probably know more than you think you do. Most people, I think, don't give themselves enough credit. I mean, most people really are in tune with their animals. But yes, I've always had a very, very deep connection with my animals, for sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm very, very in tune with my cats. I know everything they want and need, and constantly am communicating with them. And they drive me crazy too because they're always in my head. Like, I want food now. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. Like, oh, let me sleep. And he's like, no, now. So it has the benefits and doubts or negatives, but it's pretty amazing. I'm so very connected to my kitty. And I just lost a kitty, so that was hard. It's even harder when you have an animal and you lose an animal. So that's I think it's tougher than even losing a human because it's just pure unconditional love, So that's been really hard, but yeah, we have a deep, deep soul connection with them, a deep soul contract with them, for sure.
The first time that you connected with Binks, and I personally believe in reincarnation. I've done past life regressions, and I've reconnected with many people in my soul group, to steal a phrase from Matt. But you had shared with me that Binks said that she had actually been with me before.
Yeah.
How often do you encounter something along that line? Because I mean,
all the time.
Really, all breeds.
All the time. They, and humans and animals tell me that we reincarnate all the time.
Wow.
And I was raised Christian, y'all. I was raised to not believe in any of this stuff, right? But I've been doing this for 10, 11, gosh, I'm getting older, 12 years. When they tell me, I'm like, wait, how old am I? They're telling me that that we reincarnate and that they just keep coming back. We keep coming back and we keep doing this over and over again with each other. You know, like my cat Charlie has told me we've lived 12 lives together. And I believe him. Like I have no reason to doubt his, you know, his loyalty and our soul connection with each other. You know, why would I not believe him? So,
do they reincarnate as animals again? Different animals, same animals?
They tell me they go back and forth between species and also as humans.
Oh, wow.
It depends on what they want to be, but oftentimes, like dogs who become dogs, they want to stay dogs because they love.
I get that. My dog's got a great life. I get that.
Yeah, I believe that animals are way more evolved than humans because they have evolved to the point where they are just unconditional love, and we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're not there yet. Animals
that's
are.
true.
We're not ascended to that point yet, I don't think. I think animals are way more ascended than we are on the, you know, and that's what's crazy about, you know, people who abuse animals and think they're beneath us have no idea that they are, you know.
Carrie, we're getting a question from a viewer, Claire. She's asking if you could connect in Scotland.
Absolutely. I do international readings all the time. It usually works if they have an iPhone, and I could do like iPhone audio.
Okay, cool.
Or, you know, we could do Skype probably. It usually works with an iPhone audio call. But yeah, I have a client in Korea, in Australia, in Ireland. I've done international calls all the time. Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I do calls all across the U.S. for sure.
Well, Carrie, I know you said that this all started...
watching us now.
Go ahead.
I was just going to tell, for anybody that's tuning in that does have questions or wants Carrie to get in touch with Carrie, her website is actually scrolling along the screen. It's also in the description on both Facebook and YouTube. I didn't mean to cut you off, Christina. I just wanted to let the viewers know that if they want to get in touch with her, her website is there for her services.
Yeah, and it's talktopets.com.
Yes.
Correct.
And guys, I will warn you, my website is under construction right now, so bear with me. It's a little bit of a mess right now. It's going to get better. But yes, and because of coronavirus, my schedule's a little crazy. I've got my toddler right now, so I can only do nighttime readings at 8 o'clock right now. And until she goes back to daycare. But bear with me. It's going to get better, right?
Right.
It's got to. Everything's opening up. It's going to get so much better.
Yeah, it's going to get better.
Yeah, this has been kind of a reset time for a lot of people, I think.
Oh my gosh. It's been traumatic for so many people, including little ones, you know? It's been hard. Hard for the animals too, I think. And you know, I'm hearing, you know, cats are getting this too. Now I will say cat cannot give it to their humans. We can only give it to them. So pets are not able to give it to us. We are only able to give it to them. Just so you know that.
That's good to know. It's good to know. I know I've been in communication with my vet quite often, and it's been crazy.
And I think that's a great point, because what we don't want to see is a bunch of people dumping their animals at animal shelters because they're afraid they're going to get coronavirus from their pets. That's something that I think could easily happen. People panic and do the wrong thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've seen several videos, and it's actually been a joyous thing where the cages are empty at shelters because people have adopted all the animals. It's actually been good. I know.
Makes my heart happy. I love it.
Me too. I know Binks is ready for me to go back to work. I think she's a little overwhelmed with having me home all day.
I doubt that.
Oh no, she hides. It's like, you know, the whole.
Alone time, Mom. Alone time.
Go away. Now Lucy, she's been tickled. She loves it, but
It's It's actually kind of funny. It's actually kind of funny. I saw a meme today that said all of our dogs think that we quit our jobs so we can stay home and spend more time with them, and all
Yeah.
of our cats think we got fired from our jobs because they know we're losers, and that's the reason we got fired. So I thought that was kind of funny. It's sort of appropriate for tonight's discussion.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, Carrie, I know you said you connect to human energy,
Yes.
but you do connect to spirit or to animal spirits once they've passed over the veil.
Yes, I'm a medium, so I connect to animals on the other side as well as people on the other side. I'm a medium for sure. That's actually my forte is mediumship readings.
Well, that's something we'll talk more about because
Absolutely.
I mean, we've got some amazing psychic mediums, Nikita and Rhonda, with us. But I found, and guys, jump in. Every single psychic seems to have their own unique, special gift.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you encounter things like when you go into public? How do you ground yourself and set boundaries?
It's difficult, I really have to meditate a lot and walk barefoot outside and, do visual grounding exercises. But,
Absolutely.
around my daughter helps. She grounds me. But, yeah, and I'm a Reiki master, so that helps too. Yeah, it's hard because I'm overwhelmed. I can't be in a crowd. It's very hard for me.
Overwhelming.
I'm very overwhelmed by the energy. I'm a major introvert. It's hard for me to be in crowds.
I'm finding more and more psychics, especially during this time because of the chaotic energy that people are giving off, that more of us are isolating just to avoid the negativity. And the energy can be overwhelming when you go out into the general public.
There's a lot of fear out there right now, and I've been great in quarantine. Honestly, I've been I'm used to isolating myself. To be honest.
And I think you bring up an interesting point, Christina, because I think even for those of us that are even just sensitive to energy and not necessarily psychic, but I know I think even our temperaments are shorter than normal, and it's not for any other reason than the uncertainty and the chaos that's surrounding society right now. And I think that is felt, I would imagine, a lot stronger for psychics and mediums. But I know even for those of us that are just sensitive or attuned to energy, we can sense that difference. So I imagine it's overwhelming for them.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, you guys, I think mostly because my daughter has gone through a lot of trauma during this time, just not being able to see her friends and stuff. That's been a whole other thing. But I am personally experiencing a lot of anxiety right now because I think because of the fear that's going on right now, especially in our country and everybody watching the news and everybody just experiencing fear and trauma. And of course we're experiencing fear and trauma. I mean, this is the biggest event of our lifetimes, and and I'm an empath and I'm feeling that very strongly. And so I cannot watch the news. I watched some good news. John Krasinski. You guys watch that?
I've seen that come across your feed, and actually, I liked the page, and I've been watching it because, like you, I mean, I'm not psychic. I'm an empath, not empath, but sensitive.
Girl, you are psychic. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyhow, the energy is overwhelming, and the negativity can be very, very overwhelming. So I personally have chosen to turn the news off, but I saw that you'd shared that, and it's positive. It's always something positive and will put a smile on your face.
Yeah, and I just highly recommend that people don't watch the news right now because if it's something really important, you're going to hear about it on your news feed. Somebody's going to be talking about it. Turn the news off. It doesn't mean you're going to be uninformed. It just means you're going to be happier. Because there's so much negativity out there right now, negative energy. We just need to turn off the news. Take a breath, focus on what we're grateful for, and move forward and think about moving forward with our lives.
You know, and I think this is a time that society and humanity as a whole has an opportunity here to really reset and
Absolutely.
right the direction that we should be heading in instead of the direction that we have been heading in. So I think this is a crucial point in time, and not just because of this event that's happening. And we've talked about this on the show a lot, and I know the team has
Yep.
discussed this a lot. But you know, there's another movement. There's another spiritualist movement happening. There's another. You know, all of us are moving in that direction, and spirit is speaking to more and more people. We're getting more and more connection. We're getting more and more messages. So I really think that this happening is, in a sense, and I know this is going to sound kind of like a long shot thing, but it's kind of an omen. It's kind of a wake up call. It's an opportunity, I think, for society to do something better.
It's not a long shot at all. This is our wake up call, and it's saying we need to drop our social media, our phones, our internet, our TV. We need to connect more with each other.
Yes.
Just be present with each other and drop the negative stuff and just be here with each other. And
Absolutely.
that's what we're doing. And we're healing the planet, we're healing the animals, and that's a good thing.
You know, I'm curious. We're talking about how this pandemic has affected us. How are you seeing that it's affecting our animals, our pets?
Yeah, good question. And I've asked Charlie, my cat, about that, and he said everyone is healing. Everyone. He said on a social, economic, even though our economy is crashing right now, this is what my cat told me. He said our economy is healing. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. That is, well, you know, hearing that he may not have always been a cat, I mean, or a dog, it makes perfect sense.
He's so wise. He said, we are all healing and bonding together. And he said, we are all coming together to help each other right now. And I believe him. He said, we're all coming together to help and love one another. And that's all that matters. He said, we're feeding each other. We're loving one another. It doesn't matter about money, does not matter right now. We're coming together to help. And there's a new spiritual arising, especially with the children.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
they are learning what matters from all of this.
Hey, Carrie, I don't want to put you on.
Learning what matters. And so this needed, and as crazy as this sounds, they needed to learn and go through this to see what they need to do to be helpers in the future.
What were you saying, Matt?
I was just saying that, Carrie, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we've had some questions come up, and before I put them up on the screen or we ask you the questions, are you comfortable with answering some questions from viewers, or would you rather that be something they contact you privately? We always ask whenever we have a guest that has gifts because I don't want you overwhelmed either.
Let's go ahead. Bring them on.
All right. I just wanted to be sure that was cool with you. So here is a question that we got from Carla Simpson. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Christina, if you want to go ahead and read it, since you're closer to her phone.
I saved a kitten 4 years ago. An owl had her in a tree. She is 4 now, but has always had a split personality. Could this be from what happened to her as a kitten?
I'm hearing no. That's just how she is.
It's just a cat thing.
Just a cat thing.
It's not a cat thing. It's just how she is, and her environment, and how she was weaned from her mama too early. Really.
Okay. Cool.
But tell her to contact me because I would love to do a reading with that kitty.
Carla, you can find Carrie on our Facebook page. You can connect to her that way, or talktopets.com. If you don't catch either one of those, message us and we'll make sure that you can connect with her. And hi, Joanne. How's Miss Jingles doing these days? I used to work with Joanne and used to hear the daily trials and tribulations of Miss Jingles, the kitty. She's been around quite a while.
What's going on with Miss Jingles' leg is what I'm hearing.
Joanne, are you hearing that? Carrie is saying something's going on with Miss Jingles' leg. which Joanne is very in tune. She's very in tune to spirit and with her kitties.
Yep.
So I will definitely make sure that she's aware. Hopefully she's still on and she's heard that.
Okay.
Joanne's a very, very good, I don't want to say pet owner because we don't own them. They live with us.
Yeah, I'd be happy to talk to her. There's something going on with that leg,
I'll make sure y'all connect.
that back right leg. Yep.
Back right leg. Okay.
I have a
Joanne,
question.
hearing that. Go ahead, Michelle. I'm sorry.
Carrie, do you do a lot of like missing pet cases for
Good
people?
question.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you do a lot of missing pet cases?
I absolutely do not do any missing pet cases, and I know a lot of animal communicators do not for a lot of ethical reasons.
Okay.
It's very hard for me to tell a person that their animal has died. You know, and so that's hard. You know, because a lot of times, and this is difficult. So if an animal has chosen to leave an abusive situation,
Mm-hmm.
and they will choose to leave an abusive situation. Not always, you know. Sometimes an animal just gets lost, and that's a lot of times that's the case. But you know, sometimes an animal leaves because it chooses to, because it's not happy. But that's ethically why I don't do it, because sometimes an animal will choose to leave. Okay. And because of ethical, moral reasons, I don't want to get involved, and I don't want to tell a pet parent like you were a bad pet parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
It really does.
I don't want to get involved in that, and I know a lot of other animal communicators don't for that reason.
I can see that. That makes very good sense, actually. Joanne actually did respond. She said yes. She jumped off of a stool the other night and has been limping since then. So there's your validation of that one.
I told you guys Carrie's the real deal.
So I have a question for Carrie.
Okay, go ahead, Al.
Maybe that back leg is what I'm telling you.
Okay, back leg.
I'm curious to hear about your experience on Ghost Brothers, because we got a chance to meet those fellas, and
Yeah.
Great group of guys.
if you'd like to talk about that a little bit, I'd love to hear how that come about and kind of what you did with them.
Oh my gosh, that was such an amazing experience. So I actually grew up with one of the producers on the show, and he's like, hey, you know, I know you're a pet psychic medium. Do you want to come out and do you want to interview for the show? And I was like, heck yeah. So they actually hired me to go out there, and I met them, you know, at the hotel. I met all the guys. They're so funny, you all.
They are.
They're a hoot.
They're the best guys. They're the sweetest gentlemen you'll ever meet, y'all. So
They're very genuine.
Oh, they're the most genuine, loving guys. I hope to spend more time with them. I actually got to, and Christina, you know, my booth was right next to them at Scarefest this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love those dudes. So I couldn't even drive down that road without feeling like such trepidation and fear. That house that we were in was just crazy haunted. I was pushed by spirit, like it was crazy, just crazy haunted. And luckily, one of them caught me, so I didn't like bash my face in a mirror. Like it was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just nuts. It was a crazy experience. I love that time filming with them, and I hope to do it again. It's just crazy that it got into the premiere episode, and I'm just praying for season 2. I'm praying for those guys. I love them so much. They're hilarious.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Dudes. Yeah.
They're a lot of fun.
They're so much fun.
They like to cut loose.
They love to cut loose, and they're just really good Southern boys, you know. and they love what they do. They love helping people. So that's why I loved filming with them. They really genuinely love to help the families. They love to help the family that we were with that day. So I really look up to them and respect them. So yeah, that was a really good, genuine experience.
Yeah, we got actually we met Dalen at Mid South, and we ended up meeting him at the VIP party, and then we were at the right behind our booth was right behind him, and he kept coming over talking to us. We kept going talking to him. I mean, they're so down to earth, and they're so genuine, and they're so approachable, and that's the thing I think that
They're
makes
real.
them they're real.
And Joel and Marcus are so great too. Like they're just
Yes.
they're all wonderful.
Yeah.
We had is it Jawan's wife or Marcus's wife that's named Christina?
Jawan is Sequel. Marcus.
Okay,
is
so
Mary,
okay,
Marcus is the
Marcus's
only
wife
one
is
who's
Christina.
married
The Christina with a Y. I'll never forget that.
with kids. Yeah. Yeah. Marcus is married with kids. Yeah. Yeah, they're just fantastic. I really hope they get a season 2. They're just I can't say enough good things about those dudes.
They really are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
Go ahead, Christina.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to go ahead and put up. We've been putting up the pictures of our pets while we were having the audio difficulty. We showed Christina's and we showed Michelle. So I was going to go ahead and put Al's dog up and let Al tell you a little bit about his fur baby.
Sure.
Oh, sweet Maggie.
Yeah, my little Maggie is a beagle mix, and I've had her about 10 or 11 years, I figure. My wife wanted her, and of course my wife, ended up passing away in 2014.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but that Maggie was her companion, and she stayed right beside her the whole time. So, and I've also got a cat that's probably, she's probably 17 or 18, named Daisy.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say she's what, 40, 50?
Oh, my
And
God.
in my defense, Al did not send me a photo of his cat, so I don't have the cat. That's not my fault. That's Al's, just for the
My
record.
cat is not very photogenic, so. And I had to bribe Maggie with a treat to get her to take that picture.
Let's see your fur baby, Matt.
I've actually got a couple. The first two I'm going to put up is two of my dogs, and that's Bella and Shadow.
Oh,
Bella is 5. Shadow is Bella's 5. Shadow is 7.
that was Shadow who is the one that tried to take a run for it the other day.
That would be Jax. That would be this guy. And now, when you see this picture, you can see why this is my boy. This is the one. I guess I know we shouldn't have favorites, but this is my guy. He's my buddy, and you can see the attitude in these two pictures, and you can see why he's a character.
Oh yeah, that's definitely made a run for it.
Look the way he's looking. It's like he's like, really? So you taking a picture of me or something?
So let me tell you, I had just gotten a new lens for my camera, and I was trying to get a good bokeh in the background and dial that lens in. And he was outside sitting there all regal and proper like he does up on his mountain out there. So I went outside with the camera, and I thought, I'm going to get some pictures of you. And the first 10 or 12 shots, he was good. But then after that, I started getting these looks. And when I caught that one, and I looked down on the photo and I saw, I was like, okay, you're done. I get it. So
I'm giving you some side eye there.
yeah, like enough, right? That's his diva pose. And then in the other photo there, he's got his sunglasses on because he has really, really bright blue eyes. I don't know that he really likes the sunglasses as much as I like making him wear them, but he's gotten used to them, and he does seem to stay out in the sun longer when he has them on. So I don't know. Maybe Carrie can answer if I should torture him with them or not.
He probably doesn't love them, but he's able and willing. Right?
I know you told me with Lucy, she years ago she used to at the groomer would actually go and pick out what scarf she wanted at the end of her grooming. She actually enjoys clothes, but I know you had shared with me, and I know you talked to so many, you probably don't remember all of them, that she was done with the pink sweater. She didn't want the pink sweater anymore. She didn't want to see it again. She was over it. It was time for something new.
Funny. I don't remember that, but yeah, that's about right. That's funny.
Yeah, that's her. She definitely, yeah, she's giving me side eye right now. A little bit of throwing shade. She saw me pet the neighbor dog today, and she doesn't like to share attention.
Yeah, they like to tell me exactly how they feel and think. Yeah.
I know, like I said, I shared with everybody, I was really blown away the first time I sat down to talk to you at Scarefest, and you immediately was like, does the cat have to stay? She just was not happy with Binks just showing up out of the blue and having this. I mean, her hashtag is Her Royal Majesty, so.
Yeah. Too funny.
Yeah, she's kind of over it now. She's rolling all over the floor and trying to draw attention, of course, jingling.
So Carrie, I've got a question. So I know, like with spirit, and again, not being psychic but being sensitive, I know sometimes when in meditation or even on investigations, if something is really trying to connect, you can't tune it out. It's really calling you, and it's trying to say something. It's trying to get you that message. Does that work the same with animals for you? I mean, do they sometimes just out of the blue, an animal comes to you and has a message the same way humans do, the same way spirit does in that regard?
I mean, I think I'm so in tune that I'm on overload all the time, if that makes sense. And so that's why I really need to make sure to figure out who is actually talking to me. Because I'm like, I guess what people would diagnose me with is sensory processing disorder or something like that.
That makes perfect sense.
Sure.
Right?
Do you physically hear or feel? I mean, how would you describe the gift? I know some people are clairsentient, they may be clairaudient, or
All of the above.
Okay.
Wow.
Clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant, claircognizant, all of it.
Definitely on overload all the time.
And empathic. Yeah, I can see why crowds suck for you. I get it. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah.
It's so much all the time. Yeah. And so, some days I literally have to, like, I feel so overwhelmed, even with just my daughter in the house with me. And that's probably because she's on overload too, and she's really psychic too. But
how is that with two psychics in the household?
Oh, girl, and we're both Pisces. Like, her birthday is 3 days before mine.
I'm sorry.
It's crazy nuts. I'm like, God, why did you do this to me? So, like, but it's overwhelming. But I just sit in my house some days and I'm like, I am overwhelmed by the energy. That's what I have to do. I have to ground myself in my house and just be a hermit because it's so overwhelming, and I go into Costco and I'm like, okay, that was the energy. That was it for the day,
I'm done.
That was all I could take.
Yeah. It's like a trip to Walmart.
30 minutes, that was all I could take.
I can't do Walmart.
I know, right?
Can't.
It's depressing.
I can't, y'all, I can't. It's too much. It's just, and when I was younger, I remember going through like sorority rush in college and literally feeling sick. Like, I felt like I was going to throw up because I was so overwhelmed by the energy. And at the time I was like, what's wrong with me? But now I know, like, I was so overwhelmed by all the energy that I didn't know how to process all of it on me. It was just so much.
Do you have any particular things that you like carry with you? I know some of us wear talismans or crystals for protection or to just kind of balance and ground us. Do you do any of that?
Oh my gosh, I used to do more of it. Since I've had a child, I don't even think about it because I'm just so focused on her right now. Yeah, I mean, I used to carry like more grounding stuff, like, like black quartz and all that stuff, like, tourmaline or well, you know, all that
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
right? But I don't, and I need to. I probably need to. I used to do like way more grounding exercises, and I don't do that as much right now. But I probably need to for sure.
I know most of us carry stones or mojo bags and just different things for grounding and protection. I'll send you a couple of things.
Thank you. Well, and I will say, I'm always talking to my angels and spirit guides, and I'm always saying, "Can you please protect me today as I go out here?" So yeah, I mean, I know they've always got my back, and I'm always grateful for that.
That's one thing I've seen with people that have gifts and are using them. Because I personally believe that we all have gifts.
Absolutely.
Some of us just choose to use them.
Except Al. I don't know if Al has any.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not going that far.
Yeah.
I just keep, hashtag damn it, Al.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You may have to explain that to her, Christina. She don't know what that means.
I'm going to let Sorge take that one.
Yeah, so I like to pick on Al because he's my buddy. And we've actually, Al and I have known each other for over 25 years. We worked together at a previous fire department, and we work together at the same fire department now. So we've always been good friends. And whenever something happens, if Al forgets to do something, of course, I like to accentuate that and make a point to point it out. So the catchphrase that we have on our team is "Damn it, Al!" So that's what we say whenever we want to poke at Al. So
It's always his fault
Well,
somehow.
Al got the short end of the stick here.
I do. I get abused all the time, Carrie.
hey, but we love him. Nobody is better at moving cases around than Al. He is our case manager.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, handling our cases and logistics, not actually moving our cases around.
See, I told you we just have fun, Carrie.
I love it. I love having fun.
Yeah, it's a great bunch of people. We would love to have you join us for some investigations.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, I would love that.
I mean, I know it's difficult with a little one, but maybe if you get a weekend off, give us a holler. We've got some great places locally. I know our local haunt is the Nickerson Sneed House in Glade Spring, Virginia, and it's amazing. I would love to see what you would pick there.
Oh, girl, I would love to come back to Virginia. So I went to Richmond, University of Richmond for college, and I lived in Northern Virginia for 9 years. So I would love to come back to Virginia.
Honey, you're always welcome here.
Absolutely.
Like 30, 40 minutes
now?
Oh, well.
Where does she live now?
Up there.
Al's asking, where does she live now? What state does she currently live in?
Oh, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. So I'm 9 hours away, probably, but.
That's still a day trip. No, I'm just kidding. It's a weekend, but we can do it.
Yeah.
We travel all over the country, so I mean, we're not opposed to coming up to you and going up that way too if we find something near you. So, absolutely.
Actually, we went to Kentucky 5 times last year.
We did. That's actually true.
Lexington twice and Louisville.
Patty Star.
Hey, oh, that's right. I just recently saw something about her. We would love to connect with you guys. If you ever hear anything and you got something planned, give us a shout. If we can go, we'll come.
Will do. And gosh, Scarefest. There's so many opportunities, meeting people here at Scarefest, and come on up.
It was a good show this year. It really was. I don't know about you, but I am ready to get back out there.
Absolutely.
For sure. And it's still going on as planned, is what I've heard.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
I'm friends with the owner, so it's still going on as planned.
Wonderful. Well, we're definitely going to put that on our calendar. I know, shameless plug here. We have Hexpo coming up. It was going to be in August, but of course, with everything going on, we had to reschedule. And that is now going to be in April. And Carrie, you've got an open invite to come and join us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
It's going to be in Asheville. It's going to be a good time. We're really excited about it. Unfortunately, like everybody else, we had to postpone some things, but we've got a lot.
I love Nashville.
I'll send you some information. It's going to be a great show. Really is.
So do you have a lot of stuff that, I know I'm sure you have had a lot of stuff got postponed too, but do you have a lot of things coming up or anything that's coming up when we get past all this COVID that maybe you want to talk a little bit about or tell people about?
I mean, gosh, I always do phone readings. I'm always available for that. With COVID, everything's kind of been postponed. My big events, I do fairs every month. We have the Central Kentucky Mystical Market every month, but my big event every year is we've got we've got Scarefest every year, but I do Mama Ruby's events,
Oh, cool.
and that's like Spirit of Light Festival,
Mhm.
which is coming up in September. But beyond that, I'm always available for phone readings. Beyond that, we're just kind of dealing with coronavirus, and we're going to get through that first, and then see what's going on after that.
I think we're kind of all right there.
Yeah, absolutely ready to get back out there.
I have some TV appearances coming up in the future, so stay tuned.
All
Oh,
right. Wow, cool.
Say about that right now.
I understand. Hashtag non-disclosure.
That's all I can say about that right now.
That's right. You never know what people are working on. That's for sure.
Right.
Well, just hit us up. We'll be happy to share because in case you haven't picked up on it, I'm a huge Carrie fan. So.
I'm a huge Christina fan. Thank you.
Oh man.
Well, I think you've answered a lot of questions. I've been watching to see if anything else come through on the comments. But is there anything that you would like to share, maybe with people that have fur babies, that maybe is some good advice, that things that can help people relate to their pets a little better?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people are like, well, I already know what my pet wants to tell me. Like, she's happy with her food, she's content. And I mean, a pet reading goes way beyond that. A pet reading covers like the role in that person's life. Like,
The emotional fulfillment.
Yes,
Mhm.
it goes beyond that. It goes, I help with the death and dying process. I talk to an animal who's on the other side. There's so much more that I can provide for a pet psychic reading. I can really provide maybe what the pet likes or doesn't like. There's so many more aspects to that I can provide. So yeah, it's worth looking into. And I try to make it cost accessible because I know there are some people out there. I looked at somebody else's website the other day. I won't name a name, but she charges $395 for a reading for 55 minutes, which I think is outrageous, to be honest.
Yeah.
I will say right now I'm charging $75 per session. I don't base it on time. I just base it on one animal, which I think it's just really accessible per pet. And I want to make it, affordable for everybody. I could probably charge a lot more than that, but I don't, because I just want people to be able to talk to their animals. So that's what I'm doing right now. It may change in the future because it could, but that's just what I'm doing right now. So
I know, speaking from experience, my readings that I've had you're right, there's no set time limit on it. It's until the communication is over. I've asked questions. I've gotten things that I didn't ask about, but was super excited and cool to know. But little things, seriously, I'm fulfilling Lucy's bucket list that I could not have been able to do without your help, Carrie. And my husband, who claims to be a non-believer, keeps asking me if we're covering everything on Lucy's list. And he's like, are you keeping a list of questions for the next time you talk to her? But he doesn't believe, so
well, and that's okay. I'm not here to change anybody's beliefs. I'm just gonna help people who do believe. So
he does. He just won't admit to it. You guys know that, right?
Oh yeah.
They work with him.
He's full of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his eyes are brown. You know, we'll just go with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he's full of
Just a little. Just a little. He's mine, but I love him. You know.
I love it. I love it.
Well, Carrie, I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight. It's I've been real excited to talk to you and to introduce you to a lot of my friends and put you in connection with a lot of people because I have a ton of pet parents that I am friends with, and I will definitely be sending them all your way.
Thank you so much. I just appreciate you having me on, and sorry we couldn't, work through the technical difficulties, but I'm glad we could just, keep the audio connection going at least.
Definitely. Well, thanks to Matt, he thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Josh actually said about the bandwidth, I thought, well, that would be.
Quarantine hair, so it's
Oh, you look amazing. Please.
oh, well, whatever.
Hey, you
Like-
could have listen. You could have Al's haircut. I mean,
Yeah.
Share it.
love you, Al.
All right, Carrie. Well, love you, girl. And I'm
Actually, I was going to say, Carrie, if you'll stick around for just 1 second, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and thank everybody for coming on. Sorry, Christine, did you have something else you were going to
No.
add?
go ahead.
Because usually we like to keep the guests for a few seconds off air to thank them for coming on. So if you'll keep her on the line for just a minute,
Sure.
we'll go ahead and get ready to do the outro, and then we'll talk with Carrie via the phone for just another minute after we go off the air. But
Next week.
Yeah,
what'd you
next
say,
week.
Al?
Don't forget about next week.
It's actually been scrolling along the bottom of the screen for about the last 10 minutes, but we have why don't you tell them, Christina? You're the one that lined her up. I lined up next week, so
Sherry Benedetti from Ghost Nation is going to be joining us next week at 8:00. I am super stoked to talk to her. She has been a TAPS family member for a very, very long time and is new to some of the newer Ghost Nation people, but she was on the old Ghost Hunter show a couple of times. And
season 10 and 11, I believe, right?
I think so, yeah. She's super cool. Everybody's going to love her, and we're going to be talking to her at 8:00 next Friday.
Absolutely. And then the week after that, we have Daryl Marston coming on from the new A&E Ghost Hunters. So we've got a couple of great shows lined up, just like this evening was a great show. Carrie, again, thank you for coming on. We've really enjoyed talking with you, and we look forward to getting the opportunity to maybe get out in the field and investigate with you in the future. And we're also going to make sure that we refer whoever we can your way.
Thank you so much for having me, you all.
All right, everybody who tuned in, thank you for putting up with the technical difficulties, and we will see you guys next week.